And welcome to another rendition of No Filter Sports. Mind you, we've been away for a while. Yes, of course, because we want to consume all these games we've been getting this fall. It's like mind blowing. But anyway, I am Brian 3SL, and with me is is now the sports Trump.
Sports Trump. Yes, indeed.
So, how have you been enjoying this? I don't know, plethora of sports lately because it's like we got baseball here, basketball's here, hockey's finished up with their Stanley Cup, and soccer's about to get in their playoff run, and who knows what sport's gonna come up next.
It's been lovely, and
Mhm.
I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Mhm. Unfortunately, there has been I would say, some very controversial sports news, and one of them, of course, was that the Big Ten decided to come back after they officially said that they were not going to have a season earlier, like around the time when they should have had it, around June, and then all of a sudden, thanks to quote unquote where Donald Trump mentioned during his debate with Joe Biden, said, "Hey, I helped the Big Ten, come back." Well, really, they didn't. They just decided to finally do it after, I would say, being bullied by it.
Mhm.
Um, Here's the other thing. Now the Pac-10, or now the Pac-12, they're kind of in decisive mode to see if they're going to officially come back, which I believe they're on the verge of doing, and which will be a limited schedule. Of course, it will probably be like a 6 week schedule, which will be kind of I don't know why they wouldn't want to do it, but yeah, starting off with that again, when we had Chip from Chip Chat to talk about his team, because he's from University of Michigan, and he wasn't really a full fan of the Big Ten coming back. How do you feel of the Big Ten coming back?
Um, I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't. Like I told you before, I'm not a college football fan. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
watch it or whatever, but it makes no difference as long as the NFL's back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I mean, the college, yeah,
Run, run, run.
I take it or leave
Okay.
it.
Okay. I'm kind of like you. I was okay with college, but mind you, it college football and college basketball, those are the money making sports. I understand to a point of bringing them back, but then again, it's kind of like, well, what about volleyball? What about lacrosse? What about soccer? All these other intermediate college sports that you have,
Right.
they're not officially back. You kind of either delayed them, you could say we're postponing them till, because some of the fall school sports maybe push into the spring and all that stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, your main focus is the money making sports and not the other schools and other sports. Yeah, I mean, and again, I kind of agree with Chip where he mentioned the fact of, hey, you more care about the athlete and not the student, and it's kind of like, there have been reports where some students, some of the students have caught COVID and had to be quarantined and all that stuff. There's a lot of questions up in the air. And since recently they announced that college basketball will be back in November, late November, pretty much after Thanksgiving. So for me, I work at some of the universities in the DC area, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, they're still kind of in question about how we're going to do this. So, but and you know, mind you, it'll be a limited schedule because normally it'll start early November, but now it'll be a late November, and there are going to be a lot of question marks, even though they're selling tickets and everything. So we'll see how all that progress. So, I mean, for me, at least I get back to working in some form of fashion.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's a good thing.
yeah, yeah. That's a good thing. But anyway, let's do.
So wait a minute. So this is bringing back all sports, or is it just football?
I think right now, as of right now, as for let's, what you meaning, like for the Big Ten,
Yeah.
as of right now, it's just football.
Okay.
And like I said, the NCAA has officially announced that all conferences are okay with having, I believe it was November 25th to be the starting date for college basketball.
Okay.
So right there, like I said, those are the two money making sports.
Right.
So for the universities. So as for All the others, it's kind of like, you can practice if you want. Still do your virtual classes and
Right.
and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with them. So,
Okay.
but we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. So, let's get into the NBA real quick. We're right now, as we're doing a show, we're in the middle of Game 2 of the NBA Finals, which, surprisingly enough, Trump predicted Lakers and Heat. Um, so which is you can say the James Bowl or whatever you want to
You
call
know
it.
what? And because I did that, what I'm going to do now is take you. You can hype the people real quick. I'm going to pour a celebration drink. I'll be right back, people, and I'll be nice and lit. Give me 45 seconds.
Give him 5 seconds. Okay. So as you all know, like I said, LeBron pushed his Lakers team into the NBA Finals over the Denver Nuggets. I really thought the Denver Nuggets would be a formidable foe. I guess they're on this true mission to honor Kobe and win the finals. Honestly, I thought Boston still had a chance when he won Game 5 and looked like they were trying to push it up to 7, but the Heat was a more dominant team that, again, Trump highly predicted well. I mean, he felt like they had the better players. I want to talk to Trump to see if right now, mind you, I have never been and never shall be a LeBron James fan. Never did. And especially after what he did when he had the decision show on ESPN many, many years ago, to where he went to Miami to get 2 out of the 4 titles from the 2 out of the 4 years he was there. And I was like, I just felt like, nah, man. I mean, he's the great player, all that stuff. I'll give him all that. But honestly, it's like, I think personality wise, I don't like to build a team around him. And I feel like, and to be now again, I'm gonna be truly honest, I really don't like the modern day NBA. It is just it's not the way I like it. I'm just not a fan of it. But that's my personal opinion. But back, Trump got his celebrity drink, celebratorial drink, celebrity drink, celebratorial drink. Your view right now of seeing the Lakers and Heat. 420, they on Rip Radio Network, they kind of had their prediction.
They still on Rip Radio? I thought they were going to another network.
No. They were still still on the Rip Radio. They were able to do some things. But
yeah, I missed the show, so I need to probably hear about that.
Yeah, but they mentioned they had a lot of predictions of they had the predictions for the NBA Finals, and they feel like the Lakers will win it either in 5 games or maybe up to 6. But most of it, the guys said they will be at 5. I predicted 7 for the Heat, but I know full well that's not going to happen. Where do you see you had the Heat going in there, and he felt like they can take the East? Can they beat the Lakers?
No. They cannot beat the Lakers. This will be over in 5. I may give them 6. It is not going 7 games. And to be honest with you, I'm giving the Heat a little extra because the way it's looking, this might be a sweep. But I'm going to say 4 games to 1, and maybe 2 if LeBron has a bad night.
Because that's what they said. Yeah, because that's what they said. Sometimes when the Nuggets won their game, they felt like they had an off. LeBron was on an off night. They were looking old and all that stuff. But I kind of mildly agree with you. I don't think it will go near 7. I just say 7 because that's the only way I felt like the Heat will win this.
This ain't going 7. This is not going 7. Right now, isn't what's his name? The guy in Milwaukee.
Kaganis.
Yeah, isn't he a free agent now at the end of the year?
As far as I know, yeah, because that's a lot of things that again around here. Whenever we see a top-notch free agent, all the Wizard fans, they say, "We need to go get him. We need to go get him."
Nobody's coming here. We got to put together something on a consistent basis before we can bring in big time free agents. The only way we're going to get a big time player in here is via a trade. That's it. And then they're probably not going to resign. So
Right.
Wizards fans, forget it. Be patient. Well, if you want to, because it's gonna be a while before we get back to where we were just 3-4 years ago. But
Right.
depending on where Giannis goes, the Heat, it's going to be Heat Celtics in the East for a couple of years. I don't, even with Doc Rivers going to Philadelphia, I don't really see them. Maybe they'll be probably 3, but I don't see. It's going to be Heat Celtics battling out for the East for the foreseeable future, depending on what Giannis does.
All right. Speaking of Doc Rivers, I was kind of surprised for him to be let go, but I mean, I understand like management felt like they wanted to win now and everything, but who do you feel is truly to blame for Doc Rivers getting fired? Was it him or was it the players losing, especially losing to the Nuggets in the Western semis?
To blame for him being fired?
Yeah.
Well, number one, I don't think he should have been fired. So I'm gonna say the players. They didn't show up. Like Doc Rivers can put everything out there. You got to play, and you look at their points. That's not Doc Rivers' fault. They didn't show up. They didn't show up. So now you're going from anything after Doc Rivers, unless it's Phil Jackson or who else or somebody else. It's a downgrade. So what are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You let Doc Rivers get fired. I would if it happened again next year, yeah, then Doc, you gotta go. But this is their first year together. You know what I'm saying? No, he shouldn't have been fired. And then Kawhi and PG didn't show up. And no, it's the players, not Doc. But that's all right. They'll pay for it.
That's why I felt like where the modern day, premier NBA coach, they're already on the team that they're on. Like, you're saying like the Heat's coach. I mean, he's in his 5th NBA finals now, but thanks to LeBron, he was, in the 4 of them, and it took a long time for him to get into his 5th one. But anywhere else is like, is there a true name? Because, there are some teams that are looking for coaches now. And Doc Rivers is like, already got picked up. Deontay, he's, I think maybe going to New Orleans. That everyone's saying he's possibly going there since he left. I think it was in Houston. So is there another premier coach out there, or do we have to think about getting these up and coming assistants starts coaching some of these teams?
Well, Tyronn Lue is overrated. I don't know why. The big deal. What's the big deal about him? I've yet to see him. If you saw him coach after LeBron left, you'll agree that he's overrated. So if Tyronn Lue can go in, Tyronn Lue needs to get a team that's not established. That way, I can tell you how good of a coach he is. Bring up a young team. I can tell you who they should go after if they're the Clippers. Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. Go after Mark Jackson, because actually Jason Kidd did help develop that young squad in Milwaukee. Okay. They were winning. They were on the verge of something, and they fired Jason Kidd. All right. So that stint Jason Kidd had in Brooklyn, I'm not even counting that. The real work is what he did in Milwaukee, and they fired him. So if I were them, I'd be on the phone with Mark Jackson today, right now. They're going after Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is overrated. He's going to come in there. You're not going to win. He's going to win more than 40 games. Look, he's got Kawhi and PG. You're not really showing how good of a coach he is with superstars like that. You know what I'm saying? I underestimated Phil Jackson. I thought Phil Jackson was overrated because he had Jordan and all that until those last 2 titles he won in LA. Because Kobe was great, but Kobe wasn't no Michael Jordan. And he had supporting cast. That was a coaching job by Phil Jackson, those last 2. On top of Kobe being great too. I give it to him. But it was Kobe didn't have the supporting cast that Michael had in those last 3 championships.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Michael had the first 3 years, Michael carried him. The last 3, Michael finally, he got Rodman, he got some other people, some shooters around him. Not saying that, but then Phil's first time in LA, he had Shaq and Kobe and everything. So that was kind of a smooth ride. His second stint in LA was really showed me that Phil Jackson can coach. You know what I'm saying? He can develop people. Now that's the like Mark Jackson built that Golden State team. I don't care. He built them. They were a 50-win team when he got fired. You know what I'm saying? For stupid shit. Now bring him back. Mark Jackson should have a job. If I was in charge of the Wizards, I'd fire Scott, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks, yeah. I'd fire his ass today. I don't care what he's still. I'd pay him out and I'd bring Mark Jackson in. Why are these people overlooking Mark Jackson? It's something we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really think so. Ever since he got fired, somehow I've heard the fact that he's not a player's coach, as everyone would like to have, be friendly. He's played the game. Figures like, he's not that type of coach. He's very intense. He's too aggressive and all that stuff. But then again, it's just like he gave you. I mean, that year he got fired when Golden State was, like you said, a 50+ win team. I didn't make any. I was surprised. It's like, why would you fire this dude? They were on the cusp.
They were right there.
It didn't make any sense to me. It
Steve Kerr coming in there didn't. You could have put me in there and Golden State we would have won a title. That's how talented and coached up that he brought them. And he didn't have superstars. He built them. He developed them. You know what I'm saying? How many like can Doc Rivers say that? To be honest with you, can Doc Rivers? You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: I'm a Doc Rivers fan based off of last season. Because the Clippers really didn't have any talent around them. Really, they didn't, and they went to the playoffs. Or they came. Did they go to the playoffs? Or they were right there? One of the two.
They were at the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc. That was a coaching job. When you don't have a star and you get more out of talent than people really see the talent, that's a coaching job. So Doc Rivers won me over last season because every time I saw Doc Rivers, he had superstars on the team. You know what I'm saying? That's what wins me over for coaches. When you can take a team that has no superstars and develop them, then that tells me you're a great coach. You know what I'm saying? The dude in Boston, he's a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Greg Popovich, he's a great coach.
Oh, he's it. He won 5 titles. He
won 5 titles, and I don't think the Spurs ever had overwhelming talent outside of Tim Duncan. And a couple of other people. They didn't have like superstar, super talent, and they beat teams that did have superstar talent.
And and the sad thing is everyone keeps knocking on when the Spurs won those titles. They kept saying it's like, especially like the first 2, because it was like, oh, Jordan wasn't there, and it's like, who gives a shit? Honestly, it was like this team overcame a lot. I mean, mind you, you had an aging David Robinson and a young Tim Duncan winning those first 2 titles, and then the last 3, I mean, you had Tim Duncan was in his prime, and you bring in a Kawhi Leonard coming in toward the tail end and get his first title in. I mean, Popovich. That's why Popovich. Everyone loves him. He's beloved because of that.
Yeah, he's a coach. He's a coach. Phil Jackson is a coach. Doc Rivers won me over just off the job he did last season. He's a coach. Mark Jackson is a fucking coach who needs a job. Something is not right for people who keep overlooking Mark Jackson. Are you like pissing people off in your interviews? Is there something going? Something going? What is it about people?
I know, and it's sad thing is like, here's the thing. Even the pundits, whenever there is an NBA coaching job available, Mark Jackson's name is never mentioned, except unless it's like in the latter tier. And it's like, wait, what happened to him? Because I kind of wonder, is like, where is he? Why is he
now?
Well, before we get, I know New Orleans is open. Houston's open. I think those are the 2 left.
I thought it was a couple.
And I know Philadelphia, because Doc Rivers gone to Philly. I'm trying to remember if there was another opening.
Doc needs to. If I was Doc, I would say FLA, and I would go to New Orleans. I would go right to New Orleans if I was Mark Jackson. I'm sorry,
Mark Jackson. Yeah,
go to New
I
Orleans.
would. I would. Well, here's the big coaching hire. I need your opinion on this. I did not know he was interested in it. I did not know he was even doing any like back tier coaching. Please explain to me why Steve Nash is hired as the Nets coach.
I have no idea. I'll tell you why. Why I think because he's never been a coach before. I think this was what's the guy name? What's the two superstars on that team?
I know. We keep forgetting because they haven't played him before. Kyrie Irving,
and, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Yeah,
that was their hire.
Are you sure? Because I've been hearing Kevin Durant didn't want him.
Nope, that was their hire. You know why? So they can run over him. He never been a coach. He never been a coach before. He has no experience. That's what they want, so they can run the show. That's the exact type of coach they want. Kyrie,
like Tyronn Lue did, when he coached in Cleveland, but really was LeBron James.
But look, Tyronn Lue took them to the championship. No, he didn't. I'll tell you how. You want to know how good a coach Tyronn Lue is? Look at what he did after LeBron left.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't do shit. LeBron won that title. You could have plugged anybody in there as a head coach. They were with LeBron. They're gonna win that title. You plug anybody in the head coach with LeBron, they're gonna look like a damn good head coach. When technically you're not really. Mm-hmm. You plug in. I think Cleveland has the vacancy too. I think
I think
if Mark Jackson is the type of coach. You don't have to have all that superstar talent. He'll coach them up. Mm-hmm. He'll coach them up, and you'll think. And by the end, when he's done, you'll think they're superstars, like Golden State. Look what he did in there. Nobody expected Steph Curry to be like that, or the other guys. Nobody expected. He developed them out the draft. He developed them. Mm-hmm. So
this is weird. I mean, there's a lot of weirdness with the NBA coaching carousel, as they say.
I'll tell you another good coach. Who I didn't think was a good coach, but I've changed my tune. He's a damn good coach. Billy Donovan.
Okay.
Billy Donovan's in Chicago now. He's a good coach. He made chicken salad out of chicken shit Oklahoma City. He lost all the stars. KD dipped, and then Russell dipped, and they still made the playoffs and gave Houston a run for their money. Mm-hmm. He's a damn good coach. Chicago, look out for Chicago. They're gonna be on the come up.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. Coming in probably a couple of months because the new NBA season will be starting pretty up soon. Yeah, so after this is done, it'll like take a month off, and then next day we're right back
in the NBA draft.
Yeah, it's got that too. So, which is kind of weird because they didn't even have that. Yeah, this is all weird. It's all packed in towards the end of the year, so it's kind of weird.
This is why sports should be like this. Sports should be June through December.
Forget January and through May.
Forget that.
We need a mild break from that. Okay.
Well, the baseball. I'm telling you, as I told you before, I'm not a baseball person. I'm loving this baseball format. Mm-hmm. I'm loving this playoff format because it's like, even I caught myself not watching the games. I'm still not watching no games unless it's the World Series. Mm-hmm. But even I caught myself kind of intrigued by these scores coming. I'm like, oh shit, okay, who won? Oh shit, the Cubs got eliminated. You know, I'm liking this baseball format. They doing it like the NBA doing with in the NHL. I like it. The only way I'm gonna really love this format, because I like it now. Don't come back and go back to 162 games. You got to have more than 60. You got to have more than 60, but do an 82 game season. But don't do no goddamn 162 game season again with this playoff format.
I kind of agree with you. I think this quick sprint works, and it'll be kind of interesting to see where to go going into next year, because again, next year they officially made that this playoff format is going to be from here on, from eternity, so to
I
speak.
love it. I love it.
Uh,
But
I
I only
I
will love it if you cut the
mm,
regular season almost basically in half. That 80, I'm gonna say maximum 100 game season.
I doubt that, again. I don't know if the Major League Baseball will do that. I mean, I understand that it seems like, it's a bit much, and and especially when you have the wild card series, you got pretty much 8 wild card series games. Like I said, all I wanted was a series. Expand the wild card match into a wild card series. It didn't make sense to me. Next thing you know, you did it. It's like great, but adding all these other teams into it made me like, wait, what? So it made me feel like I'm in Little League, and because that's what happens in Little League. So, but all in all, I was like I said, I'm intrigued. Looks like the Padres are going to be advancing because they have 1 out now in the 9th inning as we're watching and recording this. So I had the prediction of the Padres versus the Indians, and the Indians finally winning their World Series for the first time in over 70 years. But they get eliminated by those damn Yankees. and
Nobody beat the Yankees, brother.
They can't be beaten. The Yankees, honestly, is I look at this Yankee
Not by the
team.
Indians.
Well, hear me out. Well, mind you, there's some historical significance between that, but I just feel like I really don't see the Yankees of lately. These modern day Yankees, it's not their main thing. Is the lineup. Their pitching, I've always been suspect. And of the modern day Yankee teams, during the heyday with Jeter, when they had Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, those teams in the 90s and early 2000s, their pitching and their hitting was coexistent. They were meshing very well, and it annoyed the hell out of me. Now it's really more focused on the hitting. Their pitching has kind of been in question, and I feel like if you get into that bullpen, you will have a chance. You have to get to the starters really early to get to that bullpen, because their bullpen has never been that strong suit. So going into the latter part of going into the divisional series now, I still feel like I wouldn't say the Yankees are still a threat. I feel the team that's still a threat is the Astros. Because surprisingly enough, we mind you, during this whole season, no one really talked about their cheating scandal. Once this, when COVID hit, their cheating thing disappeared. And then when it came back, no one talked about it. Everyone was like, okay, we're focused on this 60 game thing and all that stuff. But I'm like, we're not going to talk about how this team cheated, and they're in the playoffs, like they're doing pretty well without doing the cheating stuff. Okay, fine. Because as right now, the Dodgers, they advance. So if they're going to have a rematch between the Dodgers and the Astros, which will be interesting, because I know the Dodgers will be extremely pissed because they felt like they were cheated out of that 2017 title.
Well, we'll find out. As I said, I like the format. The format will not work if you play 162 game season. It's just no excitement in that. But if you do 100 games or shorten it down, the format will be exciting. I like it because more playoff games. You can't have 162 games season and you're adding all these playoff games. It's just too much. They're too much. Something got to give.
If you're an owner, it's money. But here's the sad thing is, right now there no money's being made because there's no fans. So all you're getting is the revenue from television deals. So which is like, okay, nothing. It's smaller, but say again.
Who knows how long this shit's gonna go on? So they may have to keep it that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now let's get into football, and there's a lot of things that happen in football. First off, we had our first COVID cancellation or delay, depends on how you see it. The Steelers and Titans, they had to postpone their matchup. and they officially posted a date that they will have. They will play in week 7. No, excuse me, week 8. And no, yeah, week 8. Steelers will have to face the Ravens because initially, this is now their bye week. So initially, the Ravens had their bye week at week 8. Will have to play Steelers now at week 8. So their bye week now is week 7. So pretty much is a week beforehand. So I don't know who hurts. I felt like the Ravens got screwed, but then again, it's like, oh, if we're gonna have Steeler week when we come back, all right, fine, we'll take it. So that's fine with them. But the COVID case, Titans, and a couple players and a couple of facility members got COVID. And pretty much had to shut down everything. They even tested, and they got tested after the Vikings game. So the Vikings, they even had to close down their practice facilities earlier this week for all this. So right now, they're the first case. So are you kind of concerned now, or do you feel like this was smart measure? At least the NFL caught this in time, right?
This won't be the last one. They lucked up because they haven't gotten to the buys yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen when you get into the bye weeks? Then you don't have any more schedule switching to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens again because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again. Do they have a plan for that? What are you going to do with these games?
Mm-hmm.
If this happens again and we've already had buys, how are you going to manipulate the schedule at that point? Because you can't say they're canceled on Sunday. We'll postpone it to Tuesday or Wednesday. No, with COVID, you're going to need more days than 5 or 6. You're going to need, you're going to need a week or 2. So what are they going to do when that happens? So that's my concern. This one, they lucked up. They could just manipulate the schedule, a couple of games. Cool. Boom. One team. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. What's
going to happen down the road when this happens again?
Mm-hmm. I agree, because I remember you mentioning that before, because there's possibilities to switch around when teams have their actual bye weeks. So it's like, oh, we can move this team to this team. But think about it, if a team that, like, again, the Ravens, if a team's going to face the Ravens again down the line and they have a bye week and you have to force the Ravens to lose another bye week, it's like we got to move up to play them again. And it's like there's a lot of confusion there to where, like you said, to how to fix this. If a team we already gave up our bye week, why do we have to give up again? And or something like that. So there, like you said, there would be a lot of maneuvering if this happens again. So hopefully it won't. So, and they nipped this in the bud. And surprised enough, it wasn't the Vikings. I mean, this Titans really didn't lose much. Because that's the thing. It's the team that loses the bye week is the Ravens. They move up a week, but pretty much it was like, hey, here's your bye week. You guys lose your bye week, and the Titans will just play the rest of the season straight. So it's kind of scary.
What's going to happen if this shit happens in the playoffs?
That too. But I think by that time, hopefully everything's locked down by then, and everything got their shit together, so to speak. So we'll see what happens there. But here's the thing.
One more thing.
Yeah.
That game Monday night.
Yes, that we're going to.
That was a. Let me tell you, Lamar. Let me tell you something.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Boy, you are talented. But I said this. Yeah, I said you got to be a quarterback. Especially when you going up against a team like Kansas City who ain't taking out and running shit, or they're gonna shut down all your passes and you're gonna have to run and do something. You're gonna need your teammates, man. Now, granted, they were dropping balls like crazy, like hot potatoes. You know what I'm saying? But he only threw for 97 yards. So as great as he's gonna be during the regular season, when we face them again, what's gonna happen?
Okay,
this could be a tiebreaker for home field. Now we got to go to Kansas City.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was preparing for this game as sort of like, okay, if we win, great. If we don't, this is something to learn from.
And learn for
So
2 years.
no, because to be honest with you, I felt like that. Mind you, I feel like again this proves the fact that this is more on the defensive end than the offensive end. I really think because mind you, they were able to move down the field when they were able to, and then they can and mind you, the running game was working very well. I felt like they could have when they implemented the no huddle and they got into that quick rhythm, I felt that was good for them. So I think they just needed to properly, fully execute. The 2 times where they had to kick the field goal, and unfortunately where they had the chance to at least get it down to another single-digit score. They went backwards because of penalties and they got sacked and all that stuff. So I felt like again, but defensive wise, it was like the slot were getting open, the deep balls, which I was surprised that they were getting. I kind of agree with a lot of the commentary where they're saying it's like, look, you're giving that all that open space, and I know you're preparing for these speedsters, but really it's like tie them up in the front first before you let them go out. I give credit, it's like, and Mahomes is like, mind you, the way they were blitzing him almost all night, and he was able to escape. And I just like, damn, you're yelling at the screen and everything. So I mean, and then mind you, I felt like Ravens again kept trying to got it close, but then the Chiefs were able to pull away. So to me, this is a learning thing. No. And I felt like as much as look, I'm an optimist. I believe. I mean, I know you're a realist. I feel like
it's been. I was an optimist too, up until the playoffs of last year. There's something about this kid when it comes to big games that he doesn't show up. That's just the real thing.
I disagree.
And I'm sorry, that's the real thing. I'm not living in a fantasy world. I'm living on Earth. And on Earth, and what I'm seeing is that when it's time for this, when this kid is being presented with a challenge, whether it's his fault or coaching or a combination of the two, he freezes. He's going to have to learn. You are going to have to throw to win titles. There's never been a purely running quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Period. Name one.
Elway
passed when he was older when he won his 2 Super Bowls, and he was passing.
Okay. Steve Young.
Jerry Rice. Steve Young to Jerry Rice. Steve Young. No. Steve Young could also throw the ball and throw it accurately and rack up yards and touchdowns. Do you know how many touchdown passes he had in the Super Bowl? Against the Chargers? 6.
6. I'm sorry, I forgot one. Again, but it gave 6 to a bad. I wouldn't say a bad Chargers defense. He pretty much a non-facting sitting of Chargers defense, because really they should have never been there in the first place. But I countered this. I felt like Lamar's led offense can keep you in games. Either he'll grab that lead early, or he'll keep you in games. Honestly, my viewpoint, I felt that the defense failed on this one. I think this was more of a defensive thing. I felt like, go ahead.
97 yards passing. That's not defense. 97 passing yards.
But check how many times did the defense make the Chiefs do a 3 and out? Pretty much, and besides the only pretty much it was like only twice. And they did they had a missed field goal, a fumble, and a 3 and a punt. That was it. I mean, that moment in time was like little Chiefs blimp. I remember that. And then from that point on, it's just like they pulled away. If when the Ravens got it down to 27-20, and I felt like it's like, okay, and it was the Chiefs ball. All the Ravens had to do is like, there were moments where they could just like, yeah, we can stop them here. Nope. Mahomes did that. They did the crushing blitz, and then Mahomes went to the right and threw down the pass and got a 15-yarder. I was like, oh shit. And I mean, those like I said, that right there was like, if the defense, which has always been the Ravens' main bread and butter throughout their entire history, and they could not stop this team at all, especially at that key moment.
97 passing yards. If you were to multiply that times 3, we would have won the game no matter what the defense gave up.
Then I feel like then again you got to blame Greg Norman. Then
I'm blaming Greg Norman ain't on the field. The quarterback throws the ball,
but he did not look good that night. He set up the patterns. Man. I give him one. I mind you, like I said, this is a learning thing. He's still young.
No, it's no more learning thing.
Yes, it is.
No more learning thing. This is his third. He's lost 2 playoff games. I can see if he would do out and no, he's been learning. But then what is it Patrick Mahomes in? Is it still he's still learning?
Patrick Mahomes is about to be the most top. I mean, he signed the biggest contract. He's everything is golden. Everything is golden for him right now.
Okay, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah. How many? We can't keep giving this dude learning because he's good who cares about the games that he's good in? Those games don't mean shit. I want to see him good up against Kansas City. I want to see him good up against New England. I want to see him good on the road against these champions.
Okay, mind you, he beat New England with a Tom Brady led team.
Wait, last year at home?
Last year at home, yeah. Okay.
Tennessee beat New England as well. In New England.
And Kansas City is facing New England this week.
Okay. There's no Tom Brady. And they're on the road at Kansas City. Kansas City, that game's going to be easy. Come on, come better than that. Who else is now the test for them? I want to see how he plays at Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is back. I want to see.
Are they? Hold on, whoa. Why you say that? Because I don't see
it. Because no, I want to see him play against Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh because I want them to win. If we beat Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is at full strength, they got Big Ben back. This ain't the Pittsburgh of the last 2 years. They're 3-0. They got Big Ben. This is a test. If he can go in there and we can beat Pittsburgh, and he looks good throwing the ball, because no matter how much he runs, at the end of the day, we're not going to a Super Bowl unless he can throw some touchdowns consistently. That's just the way the NFL has been. I don't care if you like it or you don't like it. No quarterback in NFL history has won a Super Bowl with his legs.
Well, he did do. Okay, I believe in it. I believe in LeBron. I believe in his team. You know, like I said, I didn't. Mind you, when we did our predictions, I had Kansas City / Baltimore against Seattle. So, but you forced me to pull my hand and say Kansas City. Russell Wilson, I think. Russell Wilson, I think he's doing what he did last year, like he never lost a step. So, I mean, he's, but then again, there'll be that, mind you, it's early. Because remember, when he was like this early in the year last year. He was like running around. He was throwing all these TD passes.
Running around
he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot.
And I loved it. And I enjoyed
it. There was that little niche where he fell off a little bit.
And that's fine. And we lost in the first round. And the honeymoon's over. So everybody knows what he's doing in the regular season. He's going to tear it up in the regular season this year. Probably win MVP again. The test is the playoffs. The test in the playoffs, he's going to have to throw in the playoffs. Ken Lamar, you honestly think you take his legs away? Do you have faith that he can pass us to a Super Bowl?
If given time and opportunity, yes.
Well, you keep on giving opportunity. Last year, after the Tennessee loss, the honeymoon for him was over.
So you say.
So he needs to take us. Even if we just get to the AFC Championship, I'm happy. He needs to, but we cannot lose in the first round again, and he cannot go in the playoffs throwing only 97 yards. Ain't gonna work, like it or not. Like I said, I'll say it again. There's never been a quarterback in the history of the NFL to win a Super Bowl with his legs. That has not changed, and ain't gonna change.
All right, we'll see. So now, speaking of, let's go to Kansas City, New England, because that's the real big game for this week. Which I'm kind of surprised they got all these big games too early. I just feel like this is it. It's good and it's bad at the same time. Kansas City gets Baltimore. Damn, I wish it was later in the year. Kansas City gets New England. I kind of wish later.
I want it right now before all these dudes get injured. I want to see it now.
I understand. So maybe that's the reason why they want at least want to have it early, so if they get injured down the line. But I was asked this question on another show. I felt that everyone asked me is like, what do you think of Cam Newton? And like you said before about Lamar, it's like I'm just seeing him running a lot. And I'm seeing, and especially like that Seattle game, it was just mostly like, those short runs up and here and there, which is fine. It proves that he's still mobile and all that stuff. But to me, it's like you said about Lamar, I need to see him prove it in a good shootout and this is the type of game to me he has to prove he's good in a shootout.
You talking about New England and Seattle? What game were you watching?
Okay, this was after the New England Seattle game.
Did you see Cam light it up in Seattle?
I just felt like okay. It was like okay, he looks okay. I just
running through the air, and he was looking like he did the Super Bowl year.
Did he do that in the Super Bowl?
Because the media was talking about Cam put some zip, and not only did he put zip on it, but he finally put accuracy on it.
Okay, I give him that, but the thing is, it's like I just felt like okay, again, this is in a week 2 game, and mind you, it was against Seattle, and Seattle, like I said, they're to me, like I said, they're the team to beat in the NFC, but really their defense has always been kind of up and down a bit. But I just like now it's against Kansas City. Now this is something different. So you're facing the teams that you played against before against Kansas City. It's kind of like, okay, the only formidable foe that you dealt with was Seattle. Now you're facing a real tough foe. Can you beat Kansas City? And especially can Cam deal with Kansas City? Like, I mean, I just don't see it.
I don't see it either, but Cam is back. He's back. He finally has some, he's around some coaches. I don't see New England going to the Super Bowl this year, but I don't see them completely taking a nosedive like people were predicting either. I see New England going to the playoffs. They're going to be in a dogfight with Buffalo in that division. But no, I mean, who? I don't see many people beating Kansas City this year. I don't really see anybody beating Kansas City right now. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I'm not even the people in their division. Please, I mean,
the only team that honestly, Chargers had a chance, had a chance to beat them, and they lost it. Because really, I remember the Monday night commentators. They mentioned the fact it's like the only way you beat the Chiefs if the Chiefs beat themselves. That's what it is right now. If they only beat themselves, and I just felt like that's true. I agree with that. Because that those little hiccups that they had against the Ravens, and even in the Chargers games, it was kind of like, what the hell? Okay, there's an opening, but they seal it up really quickly, and I give credit to again Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid realizes like, okay, we got to change this up. We got to fix this. So I give him credit for where credit is due on that part. Yeah. So, but I just don't see it with. I don't know. I mean, like to me, like I said, it's early for Cam Newton. I have to wait for it till we get to the halfway mark of the season and seeing enough, to fully say, yeah, he's fully back. But really, these early games, these I feel like this.
It's the NFC is pretty much wrapped up already, and we only in week 3 or 4. NFC is pretty much wrapped up. It's Green Bay or Seattle. Who else in the NFC? Who else? San Francisco's too banged up and injured now.
That's true.
Who?
New Orleans is kind of ishy.
New Orleans, they after this past week, they lost me.
Mm-hmm.
They lost me. Tampa Bay, no, because they look like shit against New Orleans. They could rise up, but as of now, man, the NFC to me is pretty much wrapped up. I mean, it's between them two.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. All righty. Well, this has been a nice, cool recap of. Again, we had a plethora of sports to catch up on. So there's again the NBA Finals. They're finishing up Game 2, which the Lakers look. Yeah, they're going to win this one.
That's official now.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning to winning their Stanley Cup title. And WNBA Finals, they're about on the verge of going, about to come up. So we'll see how that looks. So anyway, we'll bypass the whole renaming of the nicknames for this time around.
Yeah, I'm not drunk enough.
Yeah, you're not drunk enough yet. So we'll do that next time. So anyway, that's it for No Virtual Sports. I am Brian Lyles. That is the Sports Trump. We'll see you next time. And again, follow us on Instagram at no_filter_sports_2.5. And for me, it's Brian3SL on Twitter. So anyway, I will see you all, and we'll see you all next time.